Okay, so good evening. I am Shrishti and I welcome all of you on our first episode of Talk Without Constraints. Yes, as the name suggests, it will be all without constraints. So brace yourselves because there is a lot of important information coming your way. So let me start by introducing a little about our organization. Sarkari School is an initiative by We Citizens Foundation, which works for the cause of quality education for the children of government schools. We, as an organization, works towards creating awareness and a pro-government school narrative for the Indian government schools. We also have a lot of important projects which actually help and support underprivileged students. Next, coming to Project Vedana, it is an initiative by Sarkari School which aims at reducing school absenteeism and dropouts among girls due to their menstrual cycles. We work towards this cause by creating awareness campaigns and involving youth through dialogue initiatives, etc. And we also majorly focus upon government school girls. Next, I will request Ria to kindly introduce all of us with our guest speaker for today's episode.
Thank you, Srishti. So today we'll be hosting our very special guest, and it gives us great pleasure to invite Harshita to our first episode of Talk Without Constraint. Harshita is pursuing history from Lady Shri Ram College, Delhi University, and has been an active participant in co-curricular activities as well. She believes that we have the power to mold our own lives and utilize that power to positively influence the lives of others. So my name is Ria, and I'll be moderating today's session alongside Srishti. So we all have our stories of our first story and how was your experience? And were you aware of periods before you had them for the first time? Over to you, Harshita.
Okay, hello, good evening, everyone. I'm very honored to be at the show and to be as a guest speaker on the first episode. It is my pleasure to be here today. I would like to answer my question as in it is I did not know. I mean, I was aware about my period. I was aware about the cycle of menstruation, but clearly periods came to me as an astounding shock. As I was It was on 31st December when I got my periods. Back, I was 15 years of age, grade 8. I remember the winter of 2015, wherein it was very startling and what a staggering start to a new year. And moreover, there was nobody around me to help me. So, in order, I had to seek help from the infirmary at my school, wherein a lot of friends lately the other day came up to me, are you all right? And I heard something went wrong with you. You were facing some problem. I saw you crying. They did not know that I was on my period for the first time. Actually, I only did not know how to react to it, and what could be done to it. I just
Oh,
somehow just wanted them to skip me, or I should skip the world for some time.
okay. So, have you ever missed your schools due to periods? If yes, then what was that particular discomfort or fear that you made that made you do that?
Okay, so there's a report and a survey of 2019 and 2018 and 2019 academic session, which states that more than 66% of girls skip school and college due to the fear relating to menstruation cycle. So the three major surveys which were listed there, one was staining of clothes, the stigma revolving around menstruation cycle, and the other one was period cramps. So, however, early I did my schooling from a boarding school, so there I did not face much of problem of skipping classes or school. But however, I always used to tend and try to skip school games and morning PTs or any physical recreational activity or any co-curricular activity in which particular required a lot of physical movement. And even today, I tend to stay back at home during my periods because of period pain, and somehow I feel that it will be very embarrassing for me to get stained in a public transport. I travel through metro, or as I'll have to wear a long dress or something dark in color. These are still a few problems which I think I still face, and that's like not very nice.
Okay. We know that earlier females were not open to the male members of their families, and even now we notice that in rural homes, females are not particularly open about menstruation. However, we see in cities the trend is changing. So we would like to know how sensitive or insensitive the male members of your family are when it comes to discussing periods.
Okay, so first I would like to talk about the overall what happens across the country in different regions, and then I would come to myself. So there have been a lot of myths and taboos relating to menstruation cycle. There have been certain acts and activities which happen. People, girls are banished from their home or are restricted to a room or a particular space where not even bed covers are allowed. And then there are certain myths, for example, that the period blood, the menstruation blood, is dirty. I mean, like, how can blood be dirty? That is coming from your own body, or from the
Absolutely.
or from the body of your daughter, sister, friend, or girlfriend for that matter. How can it be dirty? Number one, this. Secondly, a lot of women and a lot of adolescent girls in particular, especially during this time when they start with their menstruation cycle, the first initial periods, their moms are very particular. The females at home are very particular. Kahin bahar mat jana, stay in the room, don't come out, don't talk, don't sit this way, don't lie like this, don't eat curd, don't eat sour items, don't take medicine, you'll face problems during pregnancy, or you won't be able to conceive if you take a lot of tablets during periods. All these are small small things. Don't eat pickle. This is something very weird. Like, forget not eating pickle, you cannot even touch it because it will get spoiled, it'll get wrenched or radicized if you touch it. I mean, like, what is it? But however, these certain things should come out, and they should be eradicated from the society, because then girls somewhere, as it is, India is a patriarchal society, and women have always been deprived. So girls, even with these small acts and tactics and anecdotes, girls feel that they are somewhere inferior to men, or they're deprived of certain things even for a limited time. But this feeling of disimprovement or deprivement, settles in them somewhere inside, and every month they have to go through this same defactuation. So, well, things are different at home at my place. I obviously don't talk to my dad that I'm on my periods, but yeah, I can, in case if he asks me something, so I tell him that I'm not feeling well. So that's a clear indication that I'm on my period. Whereas the things with my siblings are way much calmer and cooler. I can tell him directly that I'm down, or for that I can tell people. I don't tell my dad directly that I'm down, because that's a kind of a sign of respect, or I think that's, I want to save my own self from a certain kind of embarrassment. However, things are very open at home. I can simply say that I'm down, or I'm not well. That's a clear indication that I'm menstruating. I'm on the menstruation. That's it.
Okay. Do you think there is a need to normalize the conversation about menstruation? And should we educate boys as well about menstruation? And if so, what difference will it make and what impact would it create in the society then?
It is certainly very important, and there is a, I guess, a very high need for boys to particularly accept the fact of menstruation, because it's not the girls who make the other girls discomfort. It's the men who do that. Actually, it's the stigma. Girls never think a girl will staining or see me in stained clothes or something if I ask someone for sanitary pads. No, a girl is more uncomfortable seeking or asking for sanitary pads to to a man in a medical store, or picking them up from a supermarket and getting them billed by a man at the counter. That's more discomfort for them. That makes the situation ugly. So it is very important for men and for boys to be educated on this, especially younger boys, because as it is now, people have moved towards westernization, globalization, and everything. We are in the 21st century, 22nd year of the 21st century, and still it is very like boys do not normalize this. It is very important for the boys to normalize this. If it is normal for boys, then it's normal for the whole world. Simply because girls are absolutely okay with it. There are
Yeah.
certain boys who make very serious commentary about mood swings and periods, especially
Yes,
people
of
who have
course.
committed, or if people who are who have a close female friend or associate, they make very derogatory comments, even in the corporate world. Oh, she'll be on a 5-day leave. Why are girls being granted, why are women being granted a period leave in the corporate sector? There was a question on this also. However, things are slowly but surely things are changing, and they have to change. If not today, today these boys are doing this. Tomorrow, when they'll have their daughter, I don't know. Maybe that time they accept. Maybe my father must not have accepted this back in his young days, but now he is. I'm not sure about my own father, but maybe he must have normalized it back then also. I never had a talk with him. This is also a stigma. See, I never talked to my own father about it. But I'm here and speaking it out on a platform, on a public platform.
Exactly.
So
But
it is very,
Harshita,
yeah.
I often have this question like, in rural areas, we cannot convince the male, the male section especially. So, how would you say about that thing? How would you, your opinions on that?
Okay, I agree that there are a lot of reserved areas in India, and as we are a patriarchal society, men do not accept such kind of talks and things. See, there are different approaches to it, various approaches to this. Number one can be bringing up female leaders. It is the men who cannot accept and talk about it. But if you have a boss who's a female, she's going to talk about it. Number one, this. Number two, this. You have to figure out between if somebody doesn't know this, or they are reluctant to know this, or what is the main issue. See, there are people. There are obviously propagations and multifarious kinds of people in the corner. So number one is that people who know about it but they don't want to talk about it. Then there are people who don't know about it, so they cannot talk about it. And then there are people who don't want to talk about it, but they're ready to work for it. So firstly, we have to, cater to the kinds of approaches we use, because people who don't know about it need to be educated on this. Number one. Then people who are ready to work for this, well and good. We have to just look after the reluctant lot. And moreover, people just say that I mean the media and the people, when you approach somebody personally, they understand that this is natural. They don't, they just fear the dignity that they might lose about talking about this. So if they're ready to work for it and not talk about it, that is also I mean that's not the right approach, but somewhere we need to, start initiating the small this. We need to upgrade the gap. So if we start slowly about on the second approach, so maybe the first approach also falls in. This can be done.
Yes, absolutely, Harshita. And I also want to share an incident which was actually very, very shocking for me. Once last year, I was in
Okay.
Delhi's Connaught Place, and there are a lot of people who actually interview random people and they talk about such issues. So, this person was interviewing a man. First, he was asked, "How many children do you have?" And then he says, "I have 6 children." And then
Okay.
when the man asked this man, ki, okay, what do you know about periods? The first reply which this man gave कि औरतों की कोई बीमारी होती है या और मुझे नहीं पता something something like that. So I was very very shocked कि this person has 6 children and he has never ever got to know about periods from even his wife or something. So actually, this is the shocking level of revelation when you get about how reluctant or unaware men are about menstruation. So yes, this has to be
Yes.
broken and it has to be taken care of. Yes, please
In this
continue.
incident, there must have been three cases. Number one, that man knew about it, but he did not wish to talk about his wife in particular, maybe.
Yeah, this can
The
be a
second issue
possible
could have
reason.
been
Yeah.
there would have been a language barrier, because many people, there are different names for periods. Some people call it chumming, some people say down, some people even have hilarious names. Uske to din chal
Yeah,
rahe
in
hain.
Hindi also
There
there are
are
a lot of terms for this.
in
Yeah.
Hindi also there are a lot of names, something like this, and so maybe he might not have understood what is periods. Even if he said, he, like you mentioned, he said that there's some bimari, so he did not wish to show it to the people that he is fully well versed, because that is going to bring that might mark a question on his masculinity. कि इसे तो सब पता है, ये
Yeah,
खुद ही
actually,
औरत है
he
शायद.
was asked specifically in all the languages. Hindi में भी okay, महीना आपको पता है महीना क्या होता है, like this also, and he was like that only कि I don't know, or कोई कोई बीमारी and something
Yeah,
something.
because of the
So
fear of
yeah, I was
losing
actually
that
surprised.
masculinity tag.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Ria, please continue.
Yeah. Okay. So Harshita, we want to know your views on text application on sanitary pads.
I think there are a lot of there is a lot of release on the manufacturing of sanitary napkins already, and moreover now the government is coming up with a lot of schemes of relaxment and recession in taxes on contraceptive devices and sanitary napkins. And moreover, the government is promoting also the distribution of sanitary napkins. Even the UN is taking it very seriously. There was a report in Hindustan Times where it was said that around 4,84,000 sanitary kits and pads were distributed across 18 countries within 1 year. So it's and moreover, there are already like the cost of it is not so, it is the setting up of sanitary napkin manufacturing industries and units is a one time cost. It's like a heavy industry, it's not, it just requires capital goods for once, and then people are making a lot of money out of it. In fact, the third largest manufacturing unit in India is of manufacturing contraceptives and sanitary napkins. And moreover, now they're coming up with alternatives such as tampons and other things, menstruation cups, which are also better. Menstruation cups are all the more better for even for the environment. They can be reused and washed, and it is a better option.
Yeah. Uh, we we find like we get a lot of support from the government side, but recently I came across this news that one IAS
Yeah.
officer,
She made
she
some
what
very
yeah, exactly.
commentary कि इन्हें
So
sanitary napkins चाहिए तो इन्हें condom भी चाहिए क्या?
Yeah,
exactly. So
jeans भी चाहिए होगा, फिर सब चाहिए होगा.
हाँ,
Yes, yes. It was flooding on social media as well, and even in the newspaper. However, I'm not so sure if the newspaper people, media has covered it on the paper as well, but it is flooding over on social media. So, firstly, it is very astounding for us to believe and accept that it's coming from an IAS officer, somebody who's cracked the Union Public Service exam, commission exam, who and is making such lewd statements about it. Uh, that is easily that's why it is said that India is not backward in terms of economy only; it is also backward in terms of thoughts.
yeah.
Uh, I don't think
So
I can make any serious commentary or have an opinion about it. Whoever, it's not only about being we cannot just speak about on her designation, but we should also say coming it from any person on this earth, any homo sapien, male, female, or other category, or anybody. This is not something which can be accepted.
yeah,
Yes,
and this
absolutely. Totally agree.
We see a lot of girls, especially in rural areas, missing school during their periods. So, what's your opinion? Like are the possible reasons for the absenteeism and dropouts during menstruation? How can we, as an individual, work on this issue?
See, The main reason for this is stigma around it, stigma around menstruation cycle. The other reason is health factors also, because mainly we notice that the private schools offer better facilities than the government schools. Here I'm not discussing the school platforms, but yes, this is a fact. In government schools, it has been found even in the national capital region that the schools do not offer a proper sanitization units for the girl child. Moreover, the main reason for dropout is that they do not get proper sanitization in the school, and then there are unsafe there is no specific unit for them to maintain their hygiene while in school. Second reason is their ill health. It is very natural for a girl child or for any female to feel period cramps or go through some illness or feel dizzy or nauseous during her menstruation cycle. But the main reason I could figure out for their ailment and illness is that the girls going there are already malnourished. People don't spot this. They just speak that making proper toilets or making proper sanitary units would be enough. No, the reason why they are not able to even get up during their menstruation cycle is their malnourishment. They're anemic. More than 50% women and girl child in India are anemic. And moreover, this is said by the reports, say medical reports even say that Indians have a very low concept of vitamin D in their bodies. So that eventually all these factors then certainly lead to the deterioration, and so girls tend to drop out and take and stay back home. They prefer staying back at home. These are the three major problems. Then they were more worried about being back home, on the way back home. The journey way back home becomes very painful if their clothes might get stained or if they're stuck somewhere. These things also matter. That is why the girl child prefers staying at home. What can be done about it is, firstly we have to ensure, obviously the basic thing we need to ensure is that there are proper sanitization units in the schools. Secondly, it should be ensured that the dispensary in the school is well functioning. If in case a girl, at times she might feel nauseous or period cramps are so excess to a level that a child has to take a tablet or needs a heating pad and other things, then there is also an installment of counselors required, because many people don't speak up, especially in co-ed schools. Even in private co-ed schools, this is noticed that if there is a physical recreational class in a co-ed school and a girl is on a menstruation cycle, she's going on with a period, so she tends to sit. So all the boys are looking at her. Oh, uske to period chal raha hai. So she won't play. In fact, the fellow girls, female students also, comment, oh, you down, so you wouldn't play now. कोई नहीं, you must be facing, you must be going through harsh cramps. It's okay, you sit down. You are not just, you're not showing your concern at all. You're putting the person in such a situation where it would become so awkward and so, discomfort situation for her. Then the basic thing is building of sanitary units. Secondly, counselors. Thirdly, you should also provide them with proper meals, especially in government schools. And proper meals do not mean pulses and rice and chapatis and tortillas. It also means fruits. They should also be provided with us. They should also be provided with a certain, kit list of what should be brought to school during periods. What kind of medicine is essential for them in case they go through excess or harsh period cramps or stomach aches. Moreover, they should be taught about the proper disposing of sanitary napkins, because many a times, in fact I believe 90% girls and even females, even adult females, do not know how to properly dispose of the sanitary napkin. And secondly, they do not know how to properly wash their own self. There is a particular direction in which you're supposed to wash your genitals and vagina during your periods, because that emulgates the rise of bacteria otherwise, which further
Yes.
leads to other problems in the uterus and other health issues and irritation, of course. So these small bits of things are, to be taken care of at the most. We just ignore them, but the small tips and bits and anecdotes are to be taken the utmost care of. India is fighting through period poverty since ages, and it's going to, and unfortunately, it's still going to take ages to, eradicate it from our nation. All thanks to your platform, today we can talk about this and like this. Otherwise, I never thought I would lecture over menstruation.
Yeah. So now, how do you think public places like schools, courts, offices, railway stations, airports, etc., can be truly made menstruation healthy and hygiene friendly?
Okay. So I think the health ministry has a deep role to play in it. Just a second. I'm sorry for the interruption. I think that it is very necessary for the health ministry to play a vital role in it. It is very significant for them to play a role in it. The public transports, I mean, the public transports, the public places can be taken care by them. Then you also have this contractual basis workforce, which is now an emerging workforce. So this can also be hired. That's the second approach. Third approach is that no, if possible, women and NGOs can also commute, to create a safe period or sanitary dispose, or you can say sanitary unit in particular, installed at various places. Like we have those moving washrooms installed, so we can have that also. These are three approaches. Moreover, we need to maximum the most and the basic grassroots thing is to, bring the change at the grassroots level by making people aware of it, by bringing in the reluctant lot to an accepting lot. Because if people will remain reluctant, no matter how many sanitary units you build, women will still hesitate to go and use them. And if people start accepting this, so all places will be safe for them. Even in a case of emergency, a female can use a male washroom. I know that that is sounding so fiction and a dream, but that's a dream we live for. The health ministry, the development ministry has got a lot to do with this, and I think there should be a particular, uh, amount of amount should be mentioned in the national annual budget on women health, on particular, even in the health budget and the hospital budget. There should be a particular amount of unit specifically reserved for women health on sanitary issues.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Harshita. So now, moving on to the next question. So, being a youth, what message you want to give to the young girls out there?
Okay, my message to the young girls out there is just remember that it is very normal for any women to bleed or to go through a menstruation cycle. It is absolutely okay until you accept this from within. Nobody is going to accept you. And the other second thing you have to just always remember, it's not the second, in fact, the first thing to remember, your hygiene, your safety, your health is the utmost important. And as time pass, even I know period cramps hurt today, but after 5 years or 6 years, you learn to live with them. So, don't never, most women say that, kash mein ladka hoti, boys
Yeah.
don't go through this. Don't ever think that. In fact, females are the best. Had we not existed, there would have been no reproduction cycle. And I'm not talking about that we are superior to men or something. In fact, both the genders are equally important. Had
Yes.
males not existed, even we couldn't have, reproduced without them on biological terms. So the message to young girls is, it is very natural for any girl to menstruate. It is very important for you to menstruate to lead a healthy life. This is also very important. And then it is the only thing you should keep in mind is your safety and your hygiene during your periods. That's the only particular short message I want to give there.
Thank you so much, Harshita. That was so insightful. So, at last, I would like to ask, how was your experience having a conversation with us today?
Okay, firstly, I'm very honored to be here to speak on this platform today. Very gleeful that I got this opportunity, and opportunity not only to speak here, but opportunity to speak here on a very noble and a social cause. That is what is bringing me the utmost gratification and satisfaction today. Today, I guess this is the entire September has passed. The 30th September, it was yesterday. I thought I did not do anything very fruitful the entire month, but today, the beginning of first October, the beginning of October, I've done. I think I've not done something really great, but yes, I might have impacted, if not many, at least one of you today who's listening to us. And I would like to thank your platform. I would like to thank Ria especially in particular for giving me this opportunity and for inviting me to this show. And I must say that it was great speaking, and I look forward to be get a chance again. And I also look forward to become a volunteer with their organization on this. Thank you
Yeah, so
everyone.
now I would like to invite Srishti to deliver the vote of thanks.
Sure.
Okay, so Harshita, through you, we have learned and we have discussed about a lot of important things, the stereotypes, the stigmas, the behavior of the opposite gender, especially when it comes to menstruation. So, what I also want to point out here is that there are a lot of small things, if they are taken care of at those like small premises such as our homes, so like, there can be a big changes. For example, you have just discussed about how men treat women when it comes to menstruation. So you might have seen a lot of guys, like even if you are saying a serious thing or even if you're just like genuinely angry towards something, so they just decline your behavior, saying that, okay, she might be menstruating and just don't take her seriously, aisa hota rehta hai, and jo bhi keh rahi hai, it's just because of her
Mood
menstruation cycle, that's why
swings.
she's saying mood swings and all. Yes, so it is kind of a certain disrespect towards saying anything and taken seriously. And secondly, you see, you might have seen, because I have experienced this at our homes also, the housewives particularly, if they're on menstruation and if they want to just take a little rest, or they want to say ki, okay, today I'm not feeling comfortable to do all the household chores, so there is a kind of an angry reaction, particularly from the male members of the family कि अरे ये तो काम ना करने का बहाना है, या फिर something like this, which is
ये
actually
तो
very
हर महीने
obnoxious.
होता ही है, इनका तो हर महीने का
हाँ,
है, ड्रामा है,
yeah,
ड्रामा है.
yeah, drama hai. And most importantly, it is very unfortunate ki there are a lot of women which have discussed ki even if we deny to have sex with our partner or husband, so there's again for menstruation only, maybe they're on periods and they say ki, okay, I'm not comfortable today, so then again there is an angry reaction which is very very insensitive. It's like, okay, fine, okay, हर
Yeah.
महीने होता है इसमें, as you all already pointed out. So through this platform, we actually want to just throw a light upon these things, because if there is a little like ray of change at our homes, at our like for our baby steps, so this can actually bring a lot of bigger changes. What do you think about this? Do you
Yes,
agree?
that is true. It is also said that we have a long journey to go. So it is said that the journey of thousand miles begins with one step. That's true. Our little bits and tits will certainly make a difference to this.
Yes,
Whatever we do, it comes from home. It comes from the family. They say, the society
yes,
says it. So whatever
yes,
good we do also comes from us, from our family.
yes, yes. Okay, so we have come towards the end of this session. I want to thank Harshita for sharing her experiences with us. And I am sure through today's session, we have actually taken a step forward, maybe just a baby step, but that definitely in a forward direction towards breaking the stigmas and stereotypes or any other negative things associated with menstruation. And I also want to thank our viewers, and we promise to come up with a lot of other exciting and interesting informative sessions in our future episodes with other amazing guests, and we would definitely like to host you again, Harshita, and
Thank
it would
you.
be an
My
honor
pleasure.
to have you as a member of our project. So thank you so much, and thank you, Ria, thank you everybody,
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
and
good night.
I would like to thank all the audience and the platform, and Shrishti and Ria Tiwari in particular. Thank you so much. I'm honored and I'm pleasured to be here. Thank you
Thank you
once
so
again.
much.
thank you.